Hey guys, this is CADMA here from Benton Apple TV in conjunction with It Came From The Radio. We are here at CradleCon, and my uncle is going to be so jealous and so upset. Terrence, I'm talking to you. I'm here with Larry. Okay, so I'm a little older in my head than I probably should be. I watched a lot of shows from syndication. I watched all the old shows, Thundercats. I watched all of this sitting with my family. But I'm also older than I actually look. Oh my God. You realize you're like a walking legend. Do you like walk around and flip your hair back? Like, I need to know.
This doesn't flip back. But I do walk around telling people I'm a living legend.
Now, do you ever make prank calls using your voices? I'm just curious because I feel like I know I would.
I don't make prank calls, but I tell you, way back in the dark ages when we had answering machines, before telephones, I used to have, I would put on my outgoing message, you know, I would do Lion-O or Count Chocula or Sonny the Cocoa Bird, the other voices I do. But I found that when I got home every day, there were like people calling up and listening and then laughing, going, or I'd hear them say, "You got to call this number, you got to call this number." So it took me forever to get to my messages, you know, my real messages. So I stopped doing that.
I think I would probably call and do the same exact thing. What was that like, just sort of like watching the transition of just watching Thundercats just really grow into this whole massive thing, especially now as you compare it to when it came out, and then when you see now, like, its legacy is just still growing, you know, very strong?
Well, I mean, who would have known back in 1985 when we started recording this thing, or 84, I guess we started recording. It went on the air in 85. We knew we had a good show, but if you'd have told me back then that 35 or 40 years from now we'll be sitting here talking about Thundercats, I thought you were crazy, you know. In this business, you never know. You might have a very good product, put a good show together, but for whatever reason, it may not catch on with the public. This one did, thank God, and here we are.
So what I want to ask you is, like, I do acting myself also. So a lot of times when you're reading these scripts and you're like, okay, when you're doing Lionel, do you find that you're pulling a lot of your own personal self, or is Lionel more of someone that you've created in your head and that's how you're putting the voice together?
Well, for one thing, Lion-O is basically my voice. It's not a character voice, you know, it's just really my voice. The only difference is that when I'm sitting here talking to you, I would say something like, "Sword of Omens, come to my hand, I, Lion-O, command it." But when you know, on television, it's "Sword of Omens, come to my hand, I, Lion-O, command it." So, but in terms of whether there's any of me in Lion-O, I don't think so.
So everyone, Lionel is real. I just want you guys to all know that. Now, Count Chocula, I love that. My mom never let me have the cereal, though, because she said I wasn't allowed to have sugar. What were the sort of cartoons that you enjoyed just growing up that sort of may have inspired you as you did your voiceover career?
Well, of course, I go back to the 50s, and
my idol was Little Audrey. I loved her.
Little Audrey, I remember that. But I liked well, Rocky and Bullwinkle was probably my favorite cartoon show ever before Thundercats. And I watched all the Warner Brothers and the Looney Tunes and all the Disney. I just like everybody. When you're a kid, you love cartoons. You know, if you don't, there's something wrong with you, I think.
Kids, watch your cartoons. Of course, I have to ask you goofy questions. Now, before you got a chance to do the voiceovers for those cereals, what was your favorite cereal as a kid growing up?
What did I eat as a kid?
I was a Frosted Flakes girl. That was the only.
Frosted Flakes. Oh yeah, I still eat those. Yeah, yeah, and Cheerios, Wheaties. You know, we didn't have so many different brands back then. You know, this was.
Well, now there's like 4,000. You're like, which one? You want number 1011? Like.
But you notice the old ones are still around, so they're tried and true. I still don't like I shouldn't say this. I still don't like chocolate cereal. I don't like chocolate. I love chocolate, but not in the morning, you know.
Understandable, understandable.
But I eat Wheaties, Frosted Flakes. That's probably the best.
When I finally could get a hold of cereal, that was the cereal I would go for. And always my grandmother was always the one to bring it to me, because my mom was like, no, you get Cheerios. You can have, what was the other one? It was just like Cheerios, not Wheaties. There was Corn Pops, and there was another one, Kix. The one with the Christmas commercial with the string. Yeah, I wanted to do that for Christmas. She didn't let me. She was just like, no, because you're going to eat things off the tree. So
getting back at your mom here, aren't you?
I'm just totally teasing her, my uncle, my whole family. All of you are going to be in this. She's going to be jealous too, and I can't wait. So like as a voiceover artist, you know, as you're watching the history and the transition from what you used to do before to like what they have now. I mean, like I have equipment set up in my house. What was it like watching? Oh my God, it seems, yeah. Seems there maybe some dark forces passing by. It's okay. I'm with Lionel. I'm not even worried. So as you're watching that history kind of just transition from how recordings used to be done to all the way up to now, do you find that it's too easy to do voiceover? Or do you find that or do you find it now it's a lot easier and smoother, and you think it's a much better transition for the for voiceover artists?
Well, I'm not sure if it's any easier or more difficult. The technology's a lot better, of course. From my point of view as a professional actor, it's not as much fun as it used to be, because for some reason in today's world, you most of the time you're in a little booth by yourself, as opposed to a big studio with all the other actors interacting and all that. For some reason these days, they put each of us in a little booth separately, and we don't even record on the same day sometimes. So you miss the interaction with the other actors. But other than that, it's, you know, it's pretty much the same as it used to be. As an actor, you have an agent who calls you, hopefully occasionally, and says you have an audition tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and you have a booking for Skittles Monday at 2 o'clock. I do Skittles, by the way. Feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
So when it comes to record, I mean, do you hear the other actors when or are you just doing your lines only and just sort of just guessing on how it?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the time you don't hear the other actors, especially if you're one of the first ones to record, you know.
You're the first one. That's got to be terrifying.
I mean, yeah, you really don't have any feedback from the other actors and interaction. So I miss that part of it. You rarely see other actors anymore, unless you happen to be at an audition together.
That's true. Oh my God. Just be mindful if you're going into acting. So what was your favorite episode to do in Thundercats?
Gosh, I'm asked that a lot. I don't remember the name of the episode, and there might have been two of them. Well, I think it's the very beginning of the series, obviously, because Lionel was still a boy. He hadn't gone through the time warp thing, you know. And it was fun to do that because I had to sound like Lionel, but as a 7-year-old or whatever it was. So instead of Panthro, Chitara, I think Mum-Ra's up to something, it was more like, gosh, Snarf, I don't know if I can be Lord of the Thundercats. I mean, I'm scared. Well, that was fun to do that.
Oh my God. I'm so excited just to be sitting here with you. I really am. I've asked you all the nerdy questions I could possibly think of. So for those who are watching, they're like, I need to stay up to what he's doing, maybe see the next convention that he's going to be at. Where can they find you online?
I'll be in Philadelphia on October. Well, the next one, I'm sorry, is in August at Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. And then in October in Philadelphia at RetroCon.
Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm like, you have no idea how excited I am. Mom, Uncle Terrence, just That's right.
Hi, Uncle Terry. Can I call him Terry?
Yes.
Hi,
Yes,
Terry.
please do.
I have an Uncle Terry, too.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
That was fun.
I'm the intern.